Welcome to the Kurt Saxon Show, your countdown to the future. First, I want you to take down my phone number in case you want to call. The number is 501-437-2963. In case you didn't get it, here it is again, 501-437-2963. Sorry, but we can't accept collect calls. Our topic for tonight is The Survival Mentality by Paranoid George, co-hero of Wheels of Rage. It's in The Survivor, Volume 2, written in 1977. And he starts off by quoting a 100-year article from a Eureka, California newspaper, which really lays out their ideas of ethics and the kind that it seems that our people have lost. The title of the newspaper article is Saving and Having. Either man must be content with poverty all his life, or else be willing to deny himself some luxuries and save to make the base of independence in the future. But if a man denies the future and spends as he earns, whether his earning be $1 or $10 a day, let him look for lean and hungry want at some future time, for it will surely come, no matter what he thinks. To save is absolutely the only way to get a solid fortune. There is no other mode. Those who shut their eyes and ears to these plain facts will be forever poor, and for their obstinate rejection of truth, mayhap may die in misery. Let them so die and hang themselves. But no, they take a sort of recompense in cursing fortune. Great waste of breath. They might as well curse the mountains and the eternal hills. For I can tell them fortune does not give away real substantial goods. She sells them to the highest bidder. Men never make so fatal a mistake as when they think themselves captives of fate. 'Tis the surest folly in the world. Every man may make or mar his life, whichever he may choose. Fortune is for those who by diligence, honesty, and frugality place themselves in a position to grasp hold of fortune when it appears in view. The best evidence of frugality is the $500 or more standing in your name at the savings bank. The best evidence of honesty is both diligence and frugality. The above words were printed 100 years ago on May 13, 1877 in the Humboldt Times. At that time, Humboldt County was a vital and developing sector of Northern California. In those days, especially in the western states, America was still a young and vigorous nation, peopled by energetic, practical men and women. They lived by the tenet, if you need a helping hand, you'll find one at the end of your arm. Neighborly sharing and cooperation were valued and necessary, but an individual's prime responsibility was to be self-reliant and productive. In that way, he became an asset to the community and earned respect. People were held to be responsible for their own futures. Thus, a truly progressive society was built, morally and materially. Today, however, Humboldt County has become modernized. The area now swarms with welfare recipients, and the county is dependent on continuous federal funding to avoid depression conditions, and so goes the rest of the nation. Today, any local newspaper bold enough to print an editorial like Saving and Having would be deluged by indignant letters from liberals and welfare recipients alike. Our present welfare-oriented society confuses degeneration with progress. We are told that the idea that everyone should pay his own way is both archaic and heartless, that those who produce should be forced to guarantee the futures and opportunities of those who neglect to plan and provide for themselves properly, and we support the vast and ever-growing subculture of the parasitic welfare class. Indeed, the welfare class has become a major power block in America, and its members are self-righteous and assertive in demanding a better and more bountiful standard of living. It is provided, of course, by forcing those who do produce to support them by ever-increasing taxes. A century ago, it was no fun to be a freeloader and all but impossible to survive as one. Unheard of were the federally funded programs to take the misery out of poverty and to support able-bodied welfare leeches. Those who would not or could not produce simply did not survive to demand a free ride from productive citizens. If a citizen was dissatisfied with his standard of living, there was every incentive to better himself by saving or learning a useful trade needed in the community. He knew that if he didn't care about himself, nobody else would. In contrast are the arrogant welfare lice today, backed by the liberal creed and a sense of deserving. It interests me sometimes to hear what some of these pathetic parasites have to say about life and the world. And so I found myself talking to a typical welfare brood sow who was on the county, as she put it. Well over 200 pounds of bloated pork, this able-bodied young woman was a second-generation welfare case. She wore a garishly colored tent-like garment, and her hair was frizzed out, looking like a used Brillo pad. Between sentences, she stuffed her mouth with potato chips from a large box at her side. In one hand was a king-sized beer. From the next room came the foul-mouthed cacophony of her two whelps at play, undernourished in contrast to their gross mother. "It's a rotten life and a stinking society," she asserted. "Oh," I said, "and what's stinking about it?" "Well, if you was on welfare, you'd know how it is to be poor," she accused. "On the 1st and 15th of the month, I get my checks and I can have a good time and live right for a couple of days. But after the party's over and the money's spent, all I got is my food stamps. All you can get with them is grub, and I'm on a diet, so I have to sell them so I can get cigarettes and beer to last me. But I think I'm pregnant, and at least that'll mean a raise. At least Medi-Cal pays my medical bills, and I live in government housing. But hell, you can't spend that. I want to live decent. At least they owe me that much." When I suggested that perhaps she could get a job and get out of the welfare rut and perhaps ask the father of her kids to help with their support, she exploded with indignation. "If I got a job, they'd cut back on my welfare, and I'd be no better than a 9-to-5 chump and be working my tail off for $2.50 an hour. If you'd ever been on the county yourself, you'd be smart enough to know that. And if I had some pair of pants supporting me and my kids, they'd cut me clean off welfare. What do you think, I'm stupid?" I asked her if she didn't feel ashamed that a lot of people do work at low-income jobs and get no food stamps or Medi-Cal, who have to pay taxes so that she could get welfare while refusing to work. "That's their problem," she snorted. "I have my own life to live. And don't give me any of that work ethic jive. That went out with high-button shoes." Indeed it did. And that's why today's society is saddled with a vast herd of worthless human baggage who would never have survived a century ago amid the vigorous survival-oriented communities of our grandfathers. People who look to their own ingenuity to cope with disaster, not dependent on giveaway programs to survive. Yet nature has a way of cleansing itself, and when our highly technological society collapses due to its incompatibility with the laws of nature, the gravy train will grind to a halt. Then the welfare masses will simply starve. Also decimated will be the ranks of the unprepared, geared only for survival in the present artificial environment of our cities. Technology will then revert to that of the 19th century. Morality must likewise follow. Survival will be the province of those who, like the clear-thinking and productive men and women, once built functioning, bountiful communities many years ago. They had the wisdom to realize that there can be no permanent place for parasites. Well, here I am again. The phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. Again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. And here's a call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, Kurt. This is Mike out of California.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, what you just were reading off is, I'm real agreeable with that. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But I just wanted to just tell people what's going on here. California, the local commission of the Fair Housing Employment or whatever, they're doing this thing on hate crimes.
Yeah.
In these laws. And they got it down to where if you just, say something to somebody that hurts their feelings, they can prosecute you. And then the emotional distress the person is supposed to have received can receive up to $150,000 in damages. And and they can prosecute somebody just on a thought. What they got here. If I could read some stuff off.
Don't make it too long.
Okay. So the person convicted of an assault can be given an additional jail time if prosecutors can prove the assault was motivated by hate. The Sacramento County Assistant District Attorney Anna Bravo said, even if an act of hatred isn't considered a crime, victims can file a complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. Victims who prove emotional distress can receive up to $150,000 in damages.
Oh,
I mean, what is your opinion on that? I mean, that's ridiculous.
I think it's fantastic. Look, if a darky calls you honky, you've got $150,000.
But that don't work that way. I know that.
Oh, but you have to make it work that way. That's the fun of it.
This is basically against the whites.
Well, I know, but you just turn it the other way.
Yeah, that'd be great. But see, you got all these people against you. You know, and
it
all
doesn't
these people,
matter.
the Muslims, the Jews, the African Americans, the Japanese, the gay rights, and other people. You know, they're all against the whites. You know, they're all band together under this. You know, because they're getting favors. You know, and it's ridiculous.
Well, just set up a U.S. militia unit in your neighborhood, and you won't have that kind of people coming in.
That's great, but I can't get one person, one person just to even pay attention or give a damn.
Well, you will after this comes into effect. I doubt it would come into effect.
I've been reading off today. Everybody who's came over here, and no one person really understands or sees beyond. I mean, and then they just go to watch the TV.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't think anything will ever come of that because it's so absurd. It's absolutely stupid. It couldn't work.
You start wanting to vocalize, what's really going on, and say I make up a sign or something, and exercise my right of freedom, of speech and opinion, and I can get convicted of it.
Well, I doubt if you could.
To that part where, I want to start putting up signs. They got these anti-graffiti laws going out now.
Yeah.
And the technicalities is what's scary. I mean, what they can consider, graffiti. Now, if I would put a sheet and make up a sign on a sheet and hang it up where, everybody could see it, it's something not permanent, but technically, one, that's a hate crime now. They can technically, direct it that way, and then plus get me under the graffiti laws and stuff like that. And everybody's going for it, because they think of just only little punks, with spray cans go out and write stuff, which is, mostly true. But it's coming to a point now where I want to start making a sign. I want to start.
Okay, I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of fun. You see, you make a whatever kind of sign you want, just as offensive as you want, just to make it a test case.
Uh-huh.
Okay, say it's like about 15 by 15 inches.
Uh-huh.
And you go and you paste up that sign with a very very strong glue kind of thing, see?
Right.
And write over it. See, now what you do is you have two signs. You have one very offensive sign, and then you paste over that offensive sign a brotherly love type of sign, but in a kind of glue that you can just peel off just in a second.
Right.
Now, there's all kinds of glues. Okay, so you take these brotherly love signs, and you put them all over your neighborhood. This is just for fun,
Okay.
And then you've got your brotherly love sign hiding this fantastically offensive sign. And the offensive sign is put on with very strong glue that you're just going to have to take water and stuff, and it'd take a half hour to get it off, see? So you put it up, and everybody admires you for putting up the brotherly love sign. They don't know that underneath it is this really vicious, vile, something that most white people think kind of sign. See? So you put that all over the neighborhood, and then about the middle of the night, you just go and you strip off the brotherly love sign and keep going.
I see your point there. Okay. All right. Well,
I think that would be fun.
I'll get creative and go with that.
Okay, you do that.
All right.
Okay, thanks for calling. Okay, Kirk Saxon here again, 501-437-2963. Like to hear your opinions. And again, the address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And you might be interested in the information packet, which includes a sample copy of U.S. Militia. I'll get to that later. Here's another call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, Kurt. It's Warren in Mississippi.
Hi, Warren.
Got a question for you and a comment. I agree a whole lot with you about this small town, and if I was more religious, I would join one of the Amish communities. They don't have electricity and TV sets and all that.
Well, you'd have to be Amish to join them.
Well, I say if I was more religious.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful setup there, you know, real decent people, good Christian people.
Well, I went through one of their communities once, who, when the ATF man told him it'd be in his best interest to quit, and he just quit. Why, anybody that I knew of would just laughed in their faces.
Yeah, and I also sympathize with that fellow there a couple calls ago. I just came in when he was in the middle of this conversation, but it's sure the type of guy that I like to have for a neighbor. I agree that not enough people are doing anything on our behalf as the white people. Being in a big city here, I see that if you raise your voice in opposition to any of the minorities, it's automatically deemed as a hate crime.
Yes.
Excuse me, and yet, you know, you can go take the American flag and drag it through the streets and spit on it, urinate it, and burn it, and that's okay. That goes. I just think our priorities are really, really screwed up.
Well, they are, but that's the media, and it's mainly for advertising. They want everybody to be nice to everybody else, so we have a very sweet community. And, of course, there's no reason to offend anybody. That sort of shows no class at all. I
agree, but it's so easy. I mean, it seems like they're out there looking to be offended. Anything could be construed. Like last night, I thought that guy was trying to maneuver you into a position to say something that could be considered racist. And I thought you handled yourself pretty well there, and I was impressed. And that's the kind of people that I want to align myself with. And I sent for the packet. And just can't wait to get it and see what your material is all about.
Well, tomorrow we're sending out the bulk mailing, which will include the packets that we get orders for tomorrow, and after that they'll all go out first class. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you've ordered, don't be impatient, don't get upset. If it should turn out in a few weeks that you don't get it, then let me know, and I'll send you another one.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to get what you order, but don't blame me. Don't even blame the post office, because they've had a hard time over the past few weeks.
I understand.
But they are getting things. They get their act together after a catastrophe.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm sure that this bulk mailing will get there a lot quicker than the last bulk mailing did.
Okay. All right, Kurt. Your signal's coming in here loud and clear. It comes in as well as any AM or local FM station in my area, and I look forward to it every night. As a matter of fact, I arranged my dinner around your show.
Well, that's nice of you.
Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Okay, buddy. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The address for the information packet is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas. And for $10, you get the sample copies and the David Koresh Last Testament, and also you get a $5 refund on either subscription, and a lot of great reading there, and you'll really enjoy it. And if you should like the tapes, they're $6 each, or $25 for a week's shows, postpaid, and that's to Jeffries Audio, P.O. Box 326, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. They're really great for listening to while you're working or driving, or if you just want a collection of them. And then I urge you to order the Corona Grain Mill for $40 plus $4 UPS. Actually, it'll cost more than that, but I don't stock them myself, and so I'll take it doesn't matter, see. So you just order it. Send 44 to me, and then I will call in the order to Utah, and they'll get them out to you UPS. And if you order it, and I want you to order it because it'll last your lifetime, it'll maybe keep you from starving, because you cannot starve as long as you have a grain mill. And like I said, it'll last you your lifetime, and it weighs 11 pounds, and so it has to go UPS. So include your phone number and also your home address, because UPS doesn't deliver to post office boxes. So again, also the phone number they like, because in case they find trouble finding your home, then this way they can call you and ask you where you live. But anyway, the phone number again is 437-2963. Oh, and I have another announcement here for Pastor Doug Shepard in Portugal. You sent me $15 for an airmail packet, and we wanted to send it out to you, but on the way to us, it got wet, and you had written in ink instead of a ballpoint pen, and so it looks like a Rorschach ink blot covering, I don't know if it's Box 111 and Ponta Delgada. We can't make out where it is in the Azores, Portugal. So if you're listening, Doug, I'd like you to contact me. Just send a card, and we'll get that out to you quick as we can, airmail, of course. So if you're listening, Doug, and if anybody in the Azores, Portugal, knows Pastor Doug Shepard, get a hold of him, because this is fantastically urgent. I know he'd like the thing, and I don't want him to think that we neglected his order. So, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. Is anybody alive out there? What should I do? Well, let me give you the phone number for this Harbor Freight Tools, in case you want a free catalog of all kinds of good stuff. Oh, here's another call, finally. Okay, Kurt Saxon here.
Hello, Claire. This is Brad from Connecticut.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, I was just calling today. I mailed out a money order for your introductory package.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. I know it ain't going to be here for a while, but I'm kind of excited to be able to get it. It sounds like a very good package.
Yeah. Everybody likes it.
Could you tell me what's included with it, or?
Well, it's a sample copy of U.S. Militia. Tells you how to make your own weapons and all kinds of good action stories.
That sounds fun.
And 1942 jiu-jitsu course, line drawings. If you're into martial arts, you can take a buddy out in the backyard and learn how to really do it there. And it tells you how to, like I said, it tells you how to make your own weapons for practically nothing. And if you should subscribe to U.S. Militia when you like the sample copy, then you'll get 3 issues to start, and you'll get 9 in the mail. And also you'd get $5 off.
Yeah. I was wondering about you have like these survivor books also.
Oh, yes. Well, we
that in there also?
Well, no. The other sample is Shoestring Entrepreneur, which tells you how you can sell anything you can make or grow, how to get your own business, even if you're in a wheelchair. And if you
hello,
and if you should subscribe to Shoestring Entrepreneur, you'll get several back issues of the Survivor. See, when I did the Survivor, I finished up Volume 8. And then I made a name change to Shoestring Entrepreneur, because there was some radical things in the Survivor, and it's a family publication. I didn't want to bother anybody, so I put the radical stuff in U.S. Militia. Okay. So either way, you're going to be just as happy as you can possibly be with it.
And does that give me information how to get to the poor man James Bond?
Oh, yes. Both.
Has all those in there and everything.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm interested in.
Yeah,
that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, U.S. Militia tells you all about the various poor man James Bond books and tapes. And so you be a little patient, and it'll come along soon.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll probably get it within 3 to 4 weeks from now. I know the way.
I hope you'll get it sooner than that. Have you already sent it in?
I sent it in today.
Oh, today? Okay, well then if you sent it in...
for weeks, that's what I figure.
No, if you sent it in today, then I'll get it
maybe... get it Monday.
Yeah, okay, then it'll go out first class, because the bulk mailing that we're finishing up now will go out tomorrow. And from then on, we're going to send out the packets first class, so you won't have that kind of wait.
So I should get it sometime next, maybe either Friday or...
Well, let's hope so, since it's going first class.
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, then.
Good evening.
Good evening. Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number again is 437-2963. Another call. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes, I wondered, the other night you said that the Constitution wasn't in effect.
Oh, come on. Give me it. Can't you talk on another subject? You're a really nice fella, but you keep on about the same thing.
Well, why don't you uphold the oath of office that the President takes and the people that vote take?
But because I'm not in office.
Well, you certainly are. As a citizen, you hold an office as citizen.
Well, I don't consider it an office.
Well, what are you going to use for money? You going to use gold and silver like you did in the Bible, or are you going for the new money, which is...
I got a flock of chickens. I would use eggs.
Well, you're a barter person.
There you go.
Okay, well, now, not everybody has anything to barter with unless they use their labor.
Well, you see, I'm trying to get people to start their own businesses so they'll be producing things that they can barter with.
Okay, now, if nothing comes out even, are you going to be able to give an IOU?
Well, sure, you can if you want to. I think you arrange that with the person you're dealing with.
Okay, well, that's all national money is an IOU. And when Lincoln issued it, they killed him and said it was no good.
Well, I know, but see, if I take that national money, which is a Federal Reserve note, to the store, they give me a bag of groceries. I don't care what they call it.
Well, that's unconstitutional.
Well, I can't help that. I got to eat.
You cannot take words like federal and put it into a contract if it isn't in there without going through the legal type of operation. Lincoln said money was a creature of the law, and he issued a money that saved the Union, and people condemn him, but he would have healed the South if they hadn't killed him and went back to useless money like they have like they condemn in the Bible.
Well, I know, but I don't know where you're leading. I don't see the problem.
I would like for us to use our form of government at one time. You see, a republic is a government by a dictatorship of a contract, and nobody ever says that. They don't tell you what anything is. You hear the word hate all the time. Do you have any idea what hate is?
I have a vague idea.
Okay, well, hate has been said to be fear with an object. Now, guess what fear without an object is?
Yeah, what is it?
It's anxiety, and they give you pills for that.
Yeah.
These people are running our lives by putting stuff on the screen, putting stuff in the newspaper that has no connection with what we really ought to be talking about.
Well, you ought to buy a sample bottle of Tranquility. This is a compound that I put out, takes away all your anxiety. It's better than Valium. It stops a person from drinking, keep your wife from having PMS.
Well, there was a woman had a racehorse child, and so she went to the doctor with this racehorse child.
Wait, I didn't hear. A racehorse child?
Yes, a child that can't sit still. They give them Ritalin now, you know, and stuff like that.
Wait a minute now. A racehorse child? A woman?
Have you ever seen a child that couldn't sit still? Have you ever seen a child that was nervous and always into something and didn't have
okay. So you call that a racehorse child?
That's one of the expressions they use for them. Yeah.
Okay, I'd never heard that.
Well, racehorses are kind of like dogs that race. They're sort of nervous.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, this woman took her child that was nervous to the doctor, and he looked over the child and he looked over her, and so he gave her some calm down pills and said, "Come back in a couple of weeks and we'll see what's going on." So she went home, took the pills, and went back in a couple of weeks, and he says, "Well, how's the child getting along?" And she said, "Well, who the hell gives a damn?" So you see, what they do is they do things backwards. And you can't do things backwards and obey the laws of nature. Nature's done.
Oh, she took the pills herself instead of giving them to the child.
That's what the doctor recommended. Isn't that what's going on now? Instead of solving the problem, they just simply make a bigger problem.
Well, I get, you have made a wonderful point, and I'm going to have to let you go for tonight and let somebody else on, okay?
Being able to talk with somebody, well, talk with me. Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. Bye for now.
All right.
Okay, phone number again is 501-437-2963. And the mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And for the $10, you get the introductory packet and it's $5 refund on either subscription. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
How you doing, Kurt?
Good, fine.
I heard a gentleman yesterday talking about they were harassing him for his gun store or something, whatever, the ATF or something.
Well, it didn't make sense to me.
Well, I called up the NRA today just to ask them, what a person should do if, the ATF is coming around. They told me that they are going around to the small mom and pop gun stores and trying to get them to go out of business. So it's a real common thing right now, is what they're telling me.
Okay, so let's analyze that.
Okay.
See, I have a federal firearms license. I've had it for several years. I just got it. I've never really hardly used it. I think I don't have the figures with me that I read off a while back, but about 46% or something like that, as I remember, just got federal firearms licenses so that they could buy guns and ammo wholesale. See? Okay, and then maybe about 10% only sold one gun a year, and about 7 or 8% were actually gun dealers. Now, here's the thing. Now, if the ATF man should come to me and tell me it would be in my best interest to not do anything like that, I would say, okay, you cancel my license. See? Simple as that. If they had cause to cancel my license, they would cancel my license, and that would be it.
But the thing is, they're going to be raising the fee anyway from $10 to $600 next.
Okay. See, so there it is. See, I don't know what went on with that man.
Right. Well, I know what I would have done. I mean, if somebody were to come in there and try to intimidate me or something, I mean, the best thing he could do is keep a video camera around, first of all, and then go charge him with a hate crime or something at the courthouse.
Well, there you go. But no, I don't think the guy got the story straight. I think maybe the guy was pulling his leg. Maybe he's just a very excitable guy, and the guy thought he'd tell him something to get him excited.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you see, the thing is, we have licenses. There are 284,000 of us, and if this $600 a year license thing comes through, a lot of us are going to simply drop out. I know I will, because it's not that important to me. But a person in the gun trade, if he's doing a good gun business, it's going to be worth his while to pay it. But I don't see why the ATF would need to intimidate anybody. If the man wasn't doing anything against the laws with his license, then I don't see why they would bother with him. And of course, if he was, then they'd jump on him. So, besides the ATF, there's less than 5,000 ATF agents, and they just don't have time to go around throwing their weight around.
Right. Well, I mean, if the guy is worried or something, just to calm himself down, whatever. The NRA does have a legal services that he can call up on the 800 number. He can get.
Do you have that 800 number?
Right. And if he's an NRA member, he can just put in his complaint, tell him what's going on, and.
Well, I think that if he's got a thing that would interest them, that he wouldn't need to be an NRA member. Do you have the number?
Do I have the number?
Yeah.
No, I don't have the number. I'm not an NRA member anymore. But in fact, they just moved. They were in Washington.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that he could find the NRA number, and if he is a licensed dealer, he probably is also a member of the NRA. Right. So maybe he was having other difficulties, maybe family problems. I don't know why they would have wanted him out of business anyway. I don't see why. If I were an ATF agent, if he wasn't doing anything wrong, anything that would get me excited, I wouldn't bother him. But if he was getting me excited, I might talk to him like that.
Yeah, it might just be a disgruntled competitor or something.
Yeah, well, Well, the guy told me that another person had told him. See, that's hearsay right off the bat. So you can't make any rash judgment over things like that.
Right. I just wouldn't let them, intimidate. I mean, that's ridiculous right there. I mean,
well, it didn't stack up to be logical to me, because I've known the ATF for several years, and most of the guys I've met have been very nice guys, and they have a job to do. And I'm sure they have enough problems doing their jobs without going far afield and pushing people around.
Right. Well, hope whatever. But anyway, if he does feel that something's going to go down with him or something, he could call the NRA legal division, and they'll, talk to him about it.
I think they would love to get the call.
Right, because they said that people have been calling them, whatever.
Yes. Know. Well, okay. If they have some kind of harassment going, I think they got better things to do.
Well,
but harassment is simply harassment. It's when they file the papers on you, that's when you know you're in trouble.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to say that. Whatever.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Sure enough. Bye for now. Okay, Kurt, the number is 501-437-2963. The postal address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. There's another call. Hello, Kurt here.
How you doing? I really like your show.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I got something I might need some help with.
Okay.
One night it was late. It was about 2:00 in the morning, and I was driving down the road, and believe it or not, but a UFO came out of the sky, and I was the only witness that saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody, I can't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to think I'm completely crazy, And
well, what did it look like?
Well, actually, it was the lights were so bright that I couldn't, even hardly get a look at it. But
was there any noise?
Yes, it sounded like a 747 jet.
You sure it wasn't a helicopter? Looking for marijuana?
No, it was too big to be a helicopter, and the way it was hovering around, it just.
Did you feel
no
anything?
A helicopter.
Did you feel anything?
Scared.
Well, what I mean is like electricity or anything.
No, not that I can remember.
Yeah.
This was over a year ago.
Well, they've closed the Blue Book, and the Air Force doesn't monitor things like that anymore.
Right.
And I think they've cut down so much on the Air Force that they don't have the manpower to do it. So I hope you saw a UFO. I hope there's somebody out there besides us.
Okay. If it was on the ground when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too sure, but something. It had a door on the side of it.
Well, what was it? Like a football or what?
No, it was more like the shape of a calculator. Kind of like a rectangular shape.
Oh, sort of square?
Sort of square, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they're making different models than they used to.
Right. Yeah. But
Well, how big was the door? Or were you close enough to measure the size of a man to the door that they had?
It's about as big as the doors on a fireplace,
Well, and we're talking about little green men. You didn't approach them and try to get a conversation going?
Oh, no,
Well, I would have.
You would have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've always been weird like that.
Well, what would you say to an alien?
I'd say, take me to your leader, because I sure don't have one.
Huh? Yeah, that's true.
We need a leader, don't we?
Yeah, I should have told him to bring us one.
Yeah.
I don't, but I wasn't quite sure. I didn't know if anything came out or not, but I saw some shadows. But from what and the bushes were moving, but I'm not. I mean, they, and I mean, it's just it's funny the way everything was happening.
Well, you got something to tell your grandchildren, don't you?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah,
that's about all you got right now. But I wish that you had gone up and I wish you hadn't been scared, because fear doesn't do you any good.
Well, I mean, I just sat there and watched. I didn't. I didn't run. I didn't want them to know that anybody was there that could see them.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it was a big secluded area. It's like on a big farm.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a farm road,
Yeah.
So I guess they landed there just so nobody would think that they would see them.
Yeah.
And but I'm being serious about this. And,
yeah.
I was going to tell the police, but I didn't want them to put me in jail or a mental institute thinking I'm crazy.
I don't think they would have done that.
No. But the next week I was driving down the road and same spot, or next day, and in the field right beside it, there was 2 dead cows.
Well, now that's when you should have reported it to the police.
Right.
But it's too late now, because somebody probably took the cows off and butchered them.
Yeah.
People will do that.
Now, I took a look at the cows, and nothing. It was nothing that looked like any animal could have. It didn't have any, bites on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I turned one of them over, and right there around the neck, he did have some holes. About, I guess it looked like maybe somebody had jabbed him with a pool stick, And no burn marks or anything like that.
Well, you should have reported to the police. It'll probably never happen again. Well, is that about it?
Yep, that's about it.
Okay, you order my packet.
All right.
You do that.
Okay.
Okay, bye for now.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. And the phone number for, I'll get to that sooner or later. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. I called earlier. You said you have a way to get people to stop drinking?
Yeah, my Tranquility, if you order the sample packet, you'll get a description of it. It's an herbal compound. They're all granny herbs.
Okay, because a brother who's very smart, but he likes to keep drinking day in and day out, and now he's living on the streets.
Well, I used to be a very heavy boozer myself, but when I made up this compound, I just lost my desire for alcohol, and I seldom drink. I don't think I take a drink once a year.
And he was on the honor rolls all the way up to 12th grade, and after that, he didn't go to college. He hit the bottle.
Yeah. Well, he's in a state of acute depression, and that's what he needed.
That was 13 years ago. Now he's on the street, hardly eating. And
well, if you love him, and
I try to, I tell him to come over. I bring him home and everything. Tell him to spend the night. I wake up 2:30 in the morning. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, if I can't guarantee that the Tranquility.
I don't know if he already has brain damage or not. That's
well, he
what,
may. He probably has liver damage.
I'm sure he has liver damage.
But anyway, a Tranquility is made up of chamomile, hops, valerian, and skullcap with some cayenne pepper to improve the blood circulation to get it going quicker.
Yeah.
And it works very good. And
is that something where you take when you start drinking again? It'll get you sick?
Well, no. I forget the name of that. But no, it doesn't. No, the thing is, it sort of. If you take it and then you start drinking, then the alcohol doesn't have much effect.
Okay,
and so you don't get any kick from the alcohol. Bar girls have taken it.
Drinking near beer or soda.
Well, this one lady that we knew, she bought it because she was a bar girl, and she's very pretty, and guys would buy her drinks, and she didn't want to get drunk, and so she'd take that, and so she could get people to buy lots and lots of drinks, and she'd get a commission.
Yeah.
And she'd stay sober most of the time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I've been trying for the last 3 years with my brother, but I don't know what to do with him.
Well, you could try it.
I heard you with 2 phone calls ago. Said something about it, and that kind of popped in my mind. But maybe I should call him back and
Well, if you order the sample packet, it's described in the Shoestring Entrepreneur.
Okay, Shoestring. Okay, because I ordered the introductory packet.
Okay, well, when did you order it?
I was 4 callers ago. I called you.
Oh, okay. Well, you should get it soon.
Okay, great. Because I'm very, very interested in that. I'm more interested in that for my brother than anything else.
Well, I think it would help a whole lot of people who are anxious about the world situation, get them calmed down so they can see things objectively.
Yeah, but he's just when he was 13, he was drinking in the morning and stuff. So.
Well, I think he had psychological problems. He needed.
Yeah, he was 8. He was going to see a psychologist and all that.
Well, maybe it would still help him.
Different.
It got me off Valium. I'd been on Valium for 2.5 years, and
the Valiums are great, but they're very, very addictive.
They are, yeah. Of course,
great just to take a few every now and then, but you can't take that every day.
Well, I did, and I was addicted to it, and I had terminal.
Well, you know how good they are, but it's just one of those things where you just take a couple a day, then just quit for 2 months or 3 months.
Yeah, that's all right, but people who need it can't do it that way. So, but I switched.
Oh, okay, you needed it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I had I slipped 2 discs in my back.
Mm-hmm.
I was on them. And then
Yeah.
I didn't like taking them, and when my back got better, I had about 50 of them left over. Every now and then I'd just take them, you know.
Yeah. Okay, then. Is that about it?
Here, take care. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number again is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yeah, Kurt. I'd like to ask you two questions.
Okay.
All right. First of all, when do you think this economic collapse is going to happen? Where everything is just going to shut down, the money's going to shut down, everything like that.
Well, the most informed prediction I've ever heard of was Mr. Figge's book, Bankruptcy 1995, and his idea was that by 1995, the national debt would have risen so high that the government couldn't bring in enough taxes to pay the interest on the national debt, and then everything would start crumbling. They would start taking off the entitlements, that is the welfare, Social Security, the government pensions, so on like that. And it's a very good book. You ought to read it.
So around, you say 1995?
Yeah, unless Clinton works a lot harder than he's been working. He might cut it off to about 6 months.
6 months from now?
Maybe. Well, depending on what him and Hillary's up to.
Okay, my second question, one that I'm curious to know, is have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Well, I was raised and baptized in the Church of Christ, and you can take it from there.
Okay, I'll take it from there. All right, thank you.
Okay, buddy. Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Now, trying to get this phone number for the Harbor Freight Tools catalog, it's a 1-800, got your pencil? 1-800-423-2567. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. I called you about a month ago.
Yes?
My husband and I are truck drivers, and
I remember you.
yeah, we listen to your show whenever we can, and we enjoy it.
Good.
I sent out for our packet. I sent in a money order about the 7th of this month, but I haven't received it yet.
Well, what's your name?
Cindy Groon.
Cindy Groon. I'll write that down. Give me your zip code.
It's 46227.
46227. Cindy, G-R-O-U-N.
G-R-U-H-N.
G-R-U-H-N. Well, it should be limping along by now, but I'll tell my wife about it, and she'll look this up. A couple of people wrote, and they didn't give their return address on the order.
Okay.
And if you don't get it in say, like a week,
okay,
just write me a postcard with your address. Don't give me your address over the air.
All right.
Because some people they don't write their return address, and then the lady that was taking care of it just threw the envelopes away and just thought that automatically that their address was there, and it wasn't, and then it was too late.
Oh, I see.
So always put your return address on anything you order, and don't worry about writing my address on the order, because I know my address. I want to know yours.
Yeah, my return address was on the money order.
Yeah, I know. Okay, see, so if they were separated and your return address wasn't on that, so just write me your return address. Write a postcard, and we'll make sure that you get it.
Okay, keep up the good work. We believe in you, and as fellow Christians, we love you.
Okay, Cindy. Thank you very much.
All
Bye
right.
for now. Okay, we got 3 minutes, and the phone number is 501-437-2963. And here's another call. Okay, we got 3 minutes.
Hi, Mr. Saxon. My name's Booth, and I'm calling you from Virginia.
Hi, Booth.
I'm kind of curious. How do you feel about silver and gold to hedge our bets on losing our Federal Reserve notes?
Well, I don't feel much about it at all. I think that if you've got some money that you can put in silver and gold, it would be best to buy a lathe or some kind of machinery or some sort of tools for some kind of trade. This way you can be making a living no matter what is going for money.
Okay, let's say I have a whole bunch of extensive tools because every time I do a job I buy a tool now that I have money.
That's good.
And I have a lot of things like that. I don't have a lathe yet, but I'm going to get a lathe and a milling machine.
Okay, do that.
I've put away quite a few guns and quite a bit of ammunition, too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be good barter items.
Ammunition. Guns are a drag on the market.
Are they?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Now, if you got a lot of guns that you don't need, especially semi-automatics, you take your semi-automatics to a gun show, sell it to some sucker, and put that money into ammunition, and you cannot go wrong.
Okay. Now, I've chosen 2 bolt-action rifles as my primary centerfire rifles, because obviously rimfire's a good bet. But one of them is 300 Win Mag. I figured anything big on the North American continent, I can shoot it with that.
Yeah.
And 22 250 for some of the smaller stuff for long range. Feel about those calibers.
My favorite is the 30-06 because the ammunition is universal, and they're plenty heavy enough for just about any kind of game you would need, and they're certainly man-stoppers.
And a lot cheaper than belted Magnum cases.
A lot cheaper, so I would convert all of that. If you had nothing but 30-06 ammo, you're set.
Okay. And where would you go if you had a choice to move anywhere in the United States or what is currently the United States, if you could see it coming and you were going to pack up and take your family to a safe place?
I'd go to Alpena, Arkansas.
Okay. How does Montana strike you?
Well, there's it's too cold. The growing season is too short.
So what's so good about Alpena, Arkansas?
Well, there's not too many people.
Okay.
And everyone is armed, and there's no crime here.
All right. How close are you to Russellville?
About 75, 80 miles.
So you could drive, if you were to be able to get a job at a nuclear power station, you could drive there, couldn't you?
I think that power station is shut down. I'm not sure, but I think it is.
Oh, you think it is?
Yeah.
Got a friend that's there working there now. So
okay, well, good for him. Then maybe I was mistaken.
Okay, but I was just curious why you like that area, and that sounds like a real good reason.
Yeah.
Look, I've read some of your material.
Yeah. Did you order the packet?
I haven't ordered the package yet, but I'm going to. This is the first time I've tuned your show in. I've been working late. I work in a nuclear.
We got a half a minute. We got to go now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Call again. Now it's sign-off time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Kurt Saxon saying goodbye and be good. Like it?
I love it. If I had any complaint about any of your publications, it would just be that there's not enough of them.
Well, I'm doing my best to get them all out.
I realize that, and I mean that in jest.
Yeah. Well, be patient.
Right. It's just that it's such great material that it's just so hard to wait for.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of these things. It's the mail service, and they're doing a good job, but they have one heck of a load.
Yeah, they do.
And they earthquakes and floods, and it's a wonder they get it delivered at all. But anyway, just be patient, and all things come to those who wait, and especially if they work.
Right. Are you going to have any articles on maybe truck farming or anything like that in your Shoestring Entrepreneur?
I might. Okay, it's about that time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, buddy. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Now it's sign-off time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Kurt Saxon saying goodbye and be good. Bye-bye.